What you do at your job each day might decide your immediate tasks, but who you become through that process decides absolutely everything about your future. Most people have this equation completely backwards. They wake up and give their best hours, their brightest energy, and their deepest focus to their employer, yet they forget to give anything of substance to themselves. They pour their entire being into serving the company's mission, working late and sacrificing their personal time. But they never invest a single minute in working on their own mind, their own skills, or their own character. Let me tell you something that fundamentally changed my life the moment I truly understood it. Success is not about working harder at your job. It is about working harder on yourself. When you grow as a person, when you expand your knowledge, discipline, and emotional intelligence, everything around you grows with you. I have watched thousands of people over many years, from all walks of life and all career paths. The ones who struggle are always chasing the next title, the next position, or the next paycheck, hoping that some external promotion will finally bring them internal fulfillment. But the people who truly win in life, the ones who wake up excited and go to bed satisfied, they don't chase trophies. They chase personal growth. They understand a secret that most people miss entirely. Their value in the marketplace is directly connected to their value as a human being. Working harder on yourself than on your job is the single greatest difference between simply making a living and building a life of genuine significance. This is not about pretending to be someone you are not, nor is it about adopting a fake positive attitude while ignoring reality. It is about redirecting your primary focus from your external limitations to your internal possibilities. When you upgrade your vocabulary, you upgrade your mindset. And once your mindset shifts, your entire reality begins to shift along with it. Most people spend more time planning a single weekend than they do planning the trajectory of their entire lives. They invest more money in a car, which depreciates the moment they drive it off the lot, than they invest in their own mind, which can appreciate in value forever. They watch hours of television designed to make them forget their problems, yet they cannot find 10 minutes to read a single book that could actually solve those problems. Then, they stand in confusion, wondering why life is not working out the way they once imagined it would. I used to be exactly like this. Once upon a time, I was working harder at my job than anyone else, believing that loyalty, effort, and long hours were the only things that mattered. I was wrong. Everything changed the moment I realized a fundamental truth. My income would never exceed my personal development. That realization was the wake-up call I desperately needed. That is when I stopped hoping for a raise and started investing in myself. Success is not a trophy you chase across a finish line. Success is a force you attract by becoming the person who is capable of holding it. And becoming that person happens through deliberate, consistent, daily self-improvement. You might be thinking right now, that sounds good in theory, but my job demands everything from me. I don't have time for this. I understand that pressure completely because I have been there. But here is what I have learned from decades of experience. When you make yourself genuinely valuable, the world will always find a way to make you successful. When you solve your personal problems, your lack of discipline, your fear of public speaking, your procrastination, you automatically begin to solve your financial problems. When you develop yourself, you are not just preparing for the future, you are actively building it. Let me share a story from my own life to make this real for you. At 25 years old, I had nothing of substance. I was confused about my direction and deeply unhappy with my results. I worked hard. That was never the issue. I showed up on time, I did what was asked, and I stayed late when needed. but I was completely focused on my job, while completely ignoring the person who was doing the job. Then I met my mentor, who asked me one simple question that shattered my reality. He said, "Jim, how much better do you think you will be doing 5 years from now?" I answered with confidence, "Much better." Then he asked the question that woke me up completely. "Why would you be doing better?" I had no good answer. I was simply hoping things would get better. I was using hope as a strategy, and hope is not a plan. He looked me in the eyes and said, "If you want things to change, you have to change. If you want things to get better, you have to get better." Those words hit me like a bolt of lightning. For my circumstances to improve, I had to improve. For my income to grow, I had to grow. Success was not going to come from working harder at my job. It would only come from working harder on myself. So, I started a new kind of work. I started reading books on leadership, psychology, and communication. I attended seminars, even when I could not afford them. I began spending time with different people who were asking questions I had never thought to ask. I changed my thinking, my vocabulary, and my attitude. I worked relentlessly on my communication skills, my personal philosophy, and my time management. Within 6 years, I went from having nothing to becoming financially free. Not because I found a better job, and not because I worked more hours, but because I found a better version of myself. The transformation in my income followed the transformation in my character. The marketplace is simply a system of exchange. It pays you for the value you bring, and that value comes directly from who you are and what you can do. The more valuable you become, the more you earn. Most people think that if they had a better job, they would do better. That is completely backwards. If you were a better person, more skilled, more knowledgeable, more disciplined, you would attract a better job. The key is working hard on the right things, and the most important thing to work on is yourself. So what specific skill should you develop to increase your worth? First, communication. Your ability to articulate ideas clearly, persuade others, and connect on a deep level may be the single most valuable skill you can build. Second, people skills. Understanding human nature, building strong relationships, and resolving conflict makes you valuable in any organization. Third, deep specialized knowledge in your field. Become the best at what you do. Fourth, become a master problem solver. Businesses pay for solutions, not for activity. Fifth, master your own productivity. Your ability to focus deeply and eliminate distractions is a superpower. These 5 skills are worth a fortune, but they do not develop by accident. You must work on them deliberately every single day. The good news is that every one of these skills can be learned. If you improve just 1% each day, after 1 year, you will be 37 times better. That is the power of daily, consistent growth. If you read just 10 pages of a good book every day, that is over 3,600 pages per year. Roughly 15 books. In 5 years, you will have read 75 books. How different would your life be with the knowledge from 75 carefully chosen books? Small, daily improvements lead to stunning long-term results. But you must be patient. You must trust the process. Most people quit because they see no immediate results after 1 week. What they do not realize is that results take time to appear. But when they finally come, they often arrive all at once. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today. And the best way to prepare is to work on the most important project you will ever undertake: yourself. When you grow, your income grows. That is an immutable law of the marketplace. So stop hoping for a raise and start investing in the only person who can truly guarantee your success: you.